A pleasing image showing a nice variety of palm leaves. Good dynamic range and placement in frame. Tone down highlights slightly. I'd suggest even more depth of field, like F16 or F22 if you haven't already used that, to get more of the leaf at the bottom left sharp. A more defined center of interest would have generated a higher score. Matting presentation was good. Interesting image, good tonal range. We like the detail and how it climbs up different levels and in a diagonal. There's motion blur that is tough to avoid without using a rock-solid tripod, often not allowed in buildings. Less than half the image appears sharp. For example, the chain in front could be sharper. Try a tripod and stopping down the aperture more to increase depth of field and make more of it in focus. Love this! Excellent placement of rocks in frame, good sharpness and details. Good dynamic range and depth of field. The clouds add interest. I like that the left back edge of the top rock doesn't touch the horizon. You have placed the elements well. Great detail in image down to the lichen on the rocks. Well done. Suggest making it a bit lighter. Good image to show off an old castle. It's great to have clouds. That really adds impact. Technically good image. It's a good choice for black and white, which minimized the impact of the people and emphasizes the castle. Excellent sharpness, detail, and contrast. Beautiful winter scene that puts me there. It looks cold. The image seems a bit dark. The snow appears gray when it should be white. Adding contrast might make it pop more. Try to reduce some of the gray cast, perhaps by bringing up the white highlights. We like the winter scene with snow-covered rose surface. Excellent leading lines with S-turns that lead you into the image. Reduce the blue-gray cast caused by allowing the camera to select the exposure. Open the exposure 1.5 stops to make the snow white. I feel like I want to see the mountains better. They seem to be mostly in the shade, but some lightning would help in the shadows, and perhaps more contrast would also help. Nice scene with lots of detail. You handled the light from the window well. If possible, add a bit more light on the sewing machine to see more detail. It was a well-handled exposure to get the outside and the room interior lit. I'd move left or right so the left edge of the sewing machine doesn't line up with the window frame. Attractive mounting, but the picture needs to be secured better. Nice image. Looks like an old image from the past. I like the soft edges, giving a nostalgic feeling. Good dynamic range. Excellent sharpness. Perhaps add some contrast to the SO sign, which appears washed out and too bright. It's cropped too tight on the truck rear tire fender. I suggest cropping out the pole on the right. This would score higher in softer light. The strong lighting leaves significant areas of featureless darks. You had a good opportunity here showing an aging structure. Well framed, but the exposure is off. It seems dark and has a purple-gray cast made more noticeable by the matte's gray color. I feel like I want to see more of the building. The picture does not fit in the matting on the right and left sides where there are white edges showing. Nice winter scene with cabin. Nicely composed. The deep shadows hide details on the front of the building. The exposure is well handled. Wonder how it would look with less foreground and more mountains. Attractive matting complements the picture, but it needs to be more securely mounted. The image is too small on the top and the bottom for the matting.